Hey guys, welcome back to Robert's Homestead and How-Tos, and in today's video I'm going to give you my review of my Mahindra tractor. Stay tuned. So this is a 2023 Mahindra 1626 utility tractor. It's four-wheel drive. It's got a lift capacity of almost 2,800 pounds. The weight of the tractor itself is right around 2,400 pounds. This model is a 26 horsepower engine. It is a diesel. It's a Mitsubishi engine. But the nice thing about these Mahindras compared to other tractors, other brands in this size and style, is that this tractor does not have to go through a regen process. Now I know the smaller tractors under a certain horsepower don't either, but none of the Mahindra tractors, no matter the horsepower, have to go through that regen system. And that's one of the reasons why I went with Mahindra. Now, another reason why I went with Mahindra, and this is the big reason, was the price. I'm not on some gigantic farm raising a ton of cattle. I'm not on this thing all day, every day. This is kind of a weekend warrior type of tractor for me. It helps me move hay, which is the main reason I needed the tractor. I needed something to move round hay bales. Something strong enough to pick those up, move them easily and safely. And I actually did shop around. We've got this local Mahindra dealer where I got this one. We've got another one that's not too far away. But I looked at the John Deeres, I looked at Kubota, I looked at several other brands, and I just could not justify paying double for the same size tractor. And to be honest, the other thing that I really like most about the Mahindra is their lift capacity. I went right down the street after I looked at this tractor and looked at a very similar size, very similar everything Kubota tractor, which was $20,000 more, and the lift capacity was way under what this thing could handle. So for me, it was just a no-brainer. Looking back on it, or if I had to compare, if I was going to be a full-time farmer, or if I was going to be using this, like I said, all day, every day, maybe that would persuade me to go the Kubota John Deere route. But for what I'm using this for, I absolutely love this tractor. So I haven't needed service or parts or anything like that yet, and that is the number one complaint so far that I've seen from other Mahindra owners, is that it's very difficult sometimes to get the part that you need, or it just takes forever. Hopefully I won't have to go down that route again, not using it all day, every day. Hopefully I'm not going to be in need of tons of service, tons of parts. And the local dealer that I got this from seemed to be pretty reputable, and I was happy with working through them. So hopefully I don't have to go down that route. If that does become an issue, then I could see why some people lean towards more like the Coyotes and the TYMs. Those seem to be on the same level as a Mahindra as far as price and ability, all the things that it can do. But so far, like I said, I've got 23-ish hours on this tractor so far, and it's done everything that I've needed it to do easily. It drives great, and I'm going to show you, bring you in closer and show you a few of the features and see if this is maybe some kind of tractor, if you're in the market, if this is the right kind of tractor for you. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the Mahindra 1626 Shuttle Shift tractor. And if you are new to tractors, like I was, you may not have any idea what that means. Shuttle shift versus hydrostat. Well, those are two different types of options that you're going to find among tractors that are about this size. Now, what that means is how you're going to drive the tractor. Think of it like this. Shuttle shift is kind of like driving a standard or a manual shift in a car, which they don't really make many of those anymore. And a hydrostat is going to be more of like an automatic. So this basically drives by putting this gear in forward, neutral, or reverse. Then it also has your 4 speeds, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it also has high and low. So what that means is, unless you're driving down the road, you're probably going to have it in low gear, which I keep it in low gear pretty much 99.9% of the time. This also allows you to pick 4 different speeds, going forward and reverse. Now, there is no gas pedal, because the tractor's going to automatically go in forward at the speed that you've got set. When you want to stop or slow down, you press the clutch, You also have brakes on the opposite side. Those are almost worthless. Basically, you just use the clutch to stop the tractor from going forward or reverse, to slow down, and just let the tractor do its thing. Now, if you need to stop, yes, the brakes work, but you really don't use the brakes all that much. At least I don't with what I do on this farm. Now, the difference between the shuttle shift and, like I said, the hydrostat is you are going to have over here a rocker pedal that's, depending upon which brand you get, they're all kind of the same, but you're going to have a forward and a backwards pedal, kind of similar to a riding lawnmower. So if you want to go forward, you press forward and it goes. You want to go in reverse, you press down on the reverse pedal and it goes backwards. Now, what's the advantages, pros, and cons of each one? I would say that if you are on a larger farm where you're going to be going long distances for long periods of time and you don't want to have to be pressing on a pedal the whole time, by far shuttle shift is the way to go, because you just put it in gear, take your foot off the clutch, and you're going. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of bucket work or any other type of loader work, then the hydrostat would be more convenient, because you can easily go forwards and backwards quickly, whereas when I have to do that with the shuttle shift, it is a pain in the butt, especially if you're on a slope. It's just not very convenient. So a few times where I've been working with the front loader or the pallet forks, sometimes that can be annoying, but so far I'm happy with going with the shuttle shift versus the hydrostat. I don't have some huge gigantic farm with hundreds or thousands of acres, but despite that, I still enjoy the shuttle shift. It just makes driving it a little bit easier for me. But again, like I said, if you're going to be doing a lot of back and forth, a lot of stopping, starting, the hydrostatic would be a whole lot easier. Now, as far as implements go, this 1626 came with the bucket, and just like most of tractors of this size, they do have the skid steer quick attach release levers there, so it makes loading and unloading, attaching and unattaching whatever implement that you're going to be using that day super easy. From the dealer, and I'll go show you guys here in just a moment, this came with the tractor from the dealer. From the dealer, I also got a bale spear, and I'll show you all the other implements here in just a moment. Now, going around the tractor, oh yeah, so this is another thing that I added. These little hooks make it kind of handy if you need to load something that's too big for the bucket and you need to wrap a chain around it to help you pick it up. Ideally, those hooks would go up here, and if you see those hooks online, I'll link that and any other thing else that I have in this video in the description below. But typically you see them installed on the top of the bucket, which would make a whole lot more sense. But this one has this little lip right here, so there's no good location to install those hooks on top, so I had to just make do with what I had. I would prefer if it had a better guard here on the front, just to protect the front, but you can get those and add on later. Let's see what's over here. There's the four-wheel drive where you engage or disengage that. Here is your shifters 1 through 4, high and low. You've got your PTO. Comes with this massive, just kidding, teeny tiny toolbox. Let's see, over here, we'll get to this stuff here in just a second. Here's your loader control. Oh, it does have an accelerator right here, little pedal there, so if you need to give it a little extra juice, a little extra gas while you're using your bucket or you're trying to pick something up, you can press on that, and it does add a little bit of oomph to what you're doing at the time. So one thing I do love about this Mahindra tractor, this seat is insanely comfortable. You can be sitting on this tractor all day and it is insanely comfortable, so I do like that. I did add the knob here to the steering wheel. This just came from Tractor Supply. Makes turning, especially when you're going backwards or backing up, doing anything, makes that super easy. I also, from the dealership, guys, if you are new to this, there's a thing that you need to be aware of when you buy your tractor. you need counterweight, aka ballast. So you need ballast in your tires and you need ballast weight on the back. What that's going to do is that's going to make operating this tractor so much safer, especially if you plan on lifting any type of heavy weight on the front end, whether you're going to be putting a lot of weight in that bucket or if, like me, you're going to be lifting heavy hay bales. And I will try to find, I know I took a picture of it, I will try to find the picture that I took. Right now we just buy our hay bales, our round hay bales, from a guy that's much closer and cheaper, and his are 4x5 hay bales, and this thing lifts those hay bales like it's nothing. We did a long time ago purchase from another guy, and they were 5x6, much bigger hay bales, much heavier, and the sales guy at the Kubota dealership said there's no way that this Mahindra tractor would lift that, and it lifted it with ease. So don't let those sales guys talk you out of a tractor if you know what you want to get. Anyway, on the back here, totally forgot my train of thought. Oh, the ballast weight. So from the dealership, you need to add, I would highly recommend, before you even get this tractor or any tractor delivered, is have them add liquid ballast to your rear tires. What that does is adds a lot of weight to each of your rear tires, so that when you are using the front end loader to pick up something heavy, you are not going to tip over. And that is very important for us here on our farm, just because we are moving hay bales quite a bit, and the area over here where I have to drive to take the hay to the donkeys, there's a little bit of a slope, and the last thing I want to do is have a huge giant heavy hay bale going downhill and tip the tractor. Do not want to do that. So the weight in the tires helps, but I would also highly recommend that you do what I have here. Get yourself a ballast box. If you don't want to do that, then hang something heavy off, like a mower, a brush cutter, something heavy that's going to give you additional weight off the back. Now, in addition to the ballast box, you can see what I've done here is I also have a quick hitch. This quick hitch makes attaching and unattaching any of your implements back here a lot easier. It does not make it super insanely easy like they show you in the videos or like you see on YouTube, but it is a lot easier than manually doing it to the actual rear PTO hookups without the quick hitch. Now, one thing that I will say, and I will link this as well, what this is I got this on Amazon. It's not a Titan, it's a different one. That was just a sticker that I got with another attachment. So this came from Amazon, because if you get them from the dealership or anywhere else, they're insanely expensive. It doesn't matter what kind you get on Amazon, they're all made by the same company. There'll be 5 or 6 different ones listed on Amazon with different brand names. They all come from Japan, and they all use the same pictures. They all have the same reviews. But I will warn you, mine came with the wrong size hole in this bar and the wrong size pin. If you're new to tractors, there's different category size pins for these rear PTO lifts. So there's category 0, 1, 2, and 3. This stupid thing came with category 0, which was the tiniest little hole and the tiniest little pin that there's no way it could have lifted that up, and it did not fit the quick attach hitch. So thankfully I was able to contact a welder to come out here, because I don't have that skill yet. That is going to be the next thing I'm going to try to work on. But he basically took these off, put what am I trying to say, another piece of steel on there with a larger hole that would fit the proper pin, and we had to modify this because this is another big complaint. And they even make these different sizes because these quick hitch attachments are known for not lining up properly. So if you get yours and nothing's lining up, it's not you. A lot of people have that problem, and you may have to do just a little bit of welding to modify this so that it hooks up easily. So when you lift up and drop it down, it should just slide right in there. Now, I also bought these little adapter things. It makes whatever you're hooking up to the quick hitch, it just makes it sit in those hooks much better. Instead of the smaller pins, it doesn't rattle as much, it just sits in there better. That's the only reason I did that. So basically you can see when you lift this handle, that unlocks. Now I'll have to turn the tractor on to get that back up, but that does give me the opportunity to show you what I also built right here, and that's not going to drop, but that's okay. Now I built this little platform on wheels to make unhitching the ballast box a lot easier. The problem that I ran into with trying to hook up or disconnect anything to the quick hitch was that I was bottoming out, and I can drop this down and it makes unhooking whatever I've got hooked up to the quick hitch a million times easier. So with the ballast box, what I did was just fill this up with a bunch of concrete. Now here's also the issue that I had with this, because this shipped with the wrong size hookups, and it was even listed, the listing on Amazon was correct, what it showed up was incorrect. But when I contacted the company that sells this, they wanted me to send this back. Well, I had already filled this with like 400 to 500 pounds of concrete, so I don't think the FedEx guy wanted to pick this up and take it back. Once I told them that, they basically just gave me a full refund, so I basically got this for free. But just be careful when you're getting these. You need to make sure that when they do show up, they've got the right size hookups. The cool thing about this is you can modify these. Just get on YouTube. There's a million videos that show you cool things that you can do with your ballast box. This comes with these two holes right here. Those are good for sticking your hose, your rakes, or any other type of implements or tools that you need to take with you if you're going to travel any type of distance on your tractor. I also stuck a chainsaw scabbard down in here while I was filling this up with concrete. So now if I need to go somewhere with my chainsaw, I can just put the chainsaw down in there and it travels well too. If you're not going to use concrete, some people fill this up with like gravel. This door is like a little trap door, and it won't lift up on mine because mine's got dried concrete in it. But if you got gravel, you can lift that up, empty the gravel if you need to do that. It also has a hitch receiver there, so if you want to hook up a 2-inch hitch with a ball, or you need to tow something behind, you can do that as well. So pretty handy. It makes the usage of the tractor a whole lot safer, and the quick hitch just makes the whole process that much easier. All right, so I'm trying to think of anything else back here. I forget the lift capacity on the back. I think it's somewhere like 2,000, 2,300 pounds, something like that. More than anything I need to do with what I do around here. My biggest thing was having, like I said, the lift capacity on the front that could easily handle the round hay bales. But let's go back here. I'm going to show you a few of the implements that we've got for this tractor, and we'll go from there. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the implements that I've got so far for the tractor. This is the one right here, the pallet forks, that gets probably the most use that I wasn't expecting, because these things come in so handy anytime you need to lift something, move something. These forks just make life a whole lot easier. Now I got this one from Titan Attachments. Again, I'll link all this stuff in the description below. All of these have the skid steer quick attach. And this one also, you can lift these little pins right here. You can unlock the tongue and you can slide it in and out in whatever direction, so you can adjust the width of the pallet forks itself. Now this frame also, you can see, has these 3 holes, so you could also, if you don't want to go ahead and buy, or you don't have the bale spear, it looks like you can adapt this one to be a hay bale spear as well. But I did get this one from the dealership, so when I got the tractor, it was delivered with this. You can also see a nice little thing that I've done here, and this makes life a whole lot safer. When you get these implements, get you some red or bright orange or yellow spray paint, and I need to do it again because it's worn off. Spray paint the tips of these implements. It makes seeing them when you're on the tractor, when you're driving around, especially if you've got tight corners, tight turns, just makes life a whole lot safer. And when you're trying to load stuff, you can also see it a little bit better. Now under the tarp there, I've got a post hole digger. I got that one from Tractor Supply. I will link that one as well. And I got this from Tractor Supply as well, this landscape rake. So this makes life so much easier if you need to seed, if you need to scratch up the surface of an area. That makes seeding a lot easier. I just used it today down with the donkeys because they had made a huge mess with hay and manure and everything. So anyway, that's why that one is covered. Now, you've also seen here, what I have done is I've got these pallets, or the log there, underneath the implements. Now, that's not necessarily to protect the implements, although it does get them off the ground. But what that does is make life so much easier when you're trying to hook these up or unhook them from the tractor. Because again, with the angle that you have, the front end loader, when you drop that down to try to disengage whatever implement that you're trying to get rid of, sometimes you'll bottom out on the ground depending upon how flat or how sloped your area is. And what I was running into is I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go down any further, and these weren't disengaging from the tractor, and I was having to get out, walk around, and lift these up with my hands. And that just kind of defeats the purpose of having a tractor when you're having to go around and lift all these heavy implements by hand. So just getting these simple little pallets a few inches off the ground makes attaching and unattaching each of these from the tractor seamless, and you don't have to get off your tractor to maneuver them around. Oh yeah, one last pro tip too. If you're going to build a platform like this for your ballast box, I highly recommend you get some heavy duty casters. It just makes life a whole lot easier because you may need, or you may be in a situation where you need to move your ballast box when it's not hooked up to the tractor. Having this platform on the casters allows you to do that. Otherwise, you just have a 500-pound paperweight that you wouldn't be able to do anything with. So yeah, put heavy duty casters on that platform, and then you'll be able to move that without it being connected to the tractor. All right guys, well that's pretty much it for the Mahindra 1626. I'm going to get up here, I'm going to start the tractor, that way you can see a few things, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to lift up that ballast box with the quick hitch. So let me turn the camera around here real quick. Turn that over till you see this light go off. Once that goes off, we'll start it up, and you may not be able to hear me too well with the noise of the tractor, but we'll do our best here. Drop that back down in neutral. All right, and again, you can see I've got 23 and a half hours. All we're going to do is lift that up. You can reach back here and lock those into place. Actually, that didn't lock. Let me go check on it. Move this handle, that's going to lock just like that. All right, so there you have it, the Mahindra 1626. Again, for what I need, this tractor has been awesome so far. I really wouldn't change much about it. I don't think I would change going to a hydrostat versus the Shuttle Shift. I've been pretty happy with that so far. For the price that you can get this Mahindra, also if you need to finance it, I know they're usually 0% interest for however many payments. To compare that price with something that's going to be pretty much double, that can't even lift as much as this can lift, it just didn't make much sense to me, guys. So I don't know. Leave in the comments below if you have a Mahindra, or if you've got some other tractor, or if you decided to go with one way versus another. Why did you make those decisions? Why did you pick one tractor over the other? I'd be interested to see. I did a lot of homework before we got this tractor. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. I don't regret anything yet, but again, haven't had to have any service, haven't had to order any parts. So I know that day will happen soon. I just hope it's not a big headache, and hopefully I get lucky. But in the meantime, I love my Mahindra, I love my tractor. It does everything I need it to do. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.